Hello everyone. Today we're meeting with Dr. Michael Laitman. Dr. Laitman is a professor of ontology and the theory of knowledge. He has a PhD in philosophy and Kabbalah and an MSc in medical cybernetics. Dr. Laitman established Bnei Baruch in 1991. He teaches the authentic wisdom of Kabbalah. Bnei Baruch is a multifaceted movement with thousands of students all over the world. And also Bnei Baruch is the biggest group of Kabbalists in Israel and also around the world. They teach the authentic wisdom of Kabbalah that was passed on from generation to generation in more than 25 languages. And today we'd like to learn some more about the authentic Kabbalah, and we'd like to ask Dr. Laitman, and thank you very much for finding the time to talk to us. It's always a pleasure to meet people that take interest in the wisdom of Kabbalah. For me, it's always a great joy. Please. The word Kabbalah is not that well known in Japan. Can you tell us what Kabbalah is? What does this word mean? I can't tell you what Kabbalah in Japanese is, but you'll maybe have to find some other word for it. Kabbalah literally in Hebrew means reception, because that is our nature. We want to receive all the time. We want to fulfill ourselves all the time. This is our original nature, just like it is in the still, vegetative, and the animate. It's the same nature. The nature to fulfill oneself with different things that seem good to us. But the wisdom of Kabbalah, it rises above our nature and explains what is this nature of ours of the will to receive, and is it worthwhile working according to our instinctive nature, or we should work in some other way. And then we won't simply fulfill ourselves with whatever I want, but with what's worthwhile and preferable to fill myself with. And so the wisdom of Kabbalah explains that we can achieve a higher fulfillment, completely different fulfillment, a higher awareness and consciousness, to enter a higher dimension. And therefore it's called the wisdom of Kabbalah, meaning whatever you want to receive, don't look at it as being the best possible thing, but there is a wisdom that explains what's worthwhile for you to receive, and by using this wisdom, you achieve the fulfillment, the reception, the Kabbalah, on a higher degree above our nature. That is the wisdom of Kabbalah. And if so, the wisdom of Kabbalah explains how to achieve a greater, more beneficial fulfillment, Kabbalah, reception, which is eternal, limitless. What do we have to do in order to achieve that, in order to achieve these special things, and how to want them? All that exists in the wisdom of Kabbalah. And the main thing is that it leads a person to a state where he starts understanding what is he living for, what is the meaning of this life. You're born, you live your life, you suffer, and you die. So what's the use? Why is it so? What does nature want of man? Where on the one hand man is the cradle of civilization, on the other hand the poorest thing, because he suffers more than all other creatures, more than the still, the vegetative and the animate. So the wisdom of Kabbalah explains all of it, meaning that it opens up the philosophy of life for us. What is life meant for, what's worthwhile living for, and how to achieve that. And it leads a person to the eternal and perfect degree if a person realizes it. But actually it's a science. And like any other science, it explains how reality, nature in general, is built, the things that we see and the things that we didn't discover yet. And as a result of this research, it shows us what's beneficial for us to do, what's beneficial for us to want, what should we fulfill ourselves with, what's worthwhile fulfilling ourselves with. This is what the wisdom of Kabbalah is about. And so it follows that the wisdom of Kabbalah is everything about everything. Thank you very much. Now, all over the world, on the social level, on the personal level, there are many problems and crises happening everywhere. Dr. Laitman, can you please tell us, why are these things happening, and why are they happening now? The wisdom of Kabbalah was revealed to humanity almost 6,000 years ago. And it exists since then, and in each and every generation, people studied it, and to this day, they wrote many books. And even what they wrote 3, 4, or 6,000 years ago, to this day really happened just like they said. Because they permeate nature and they explain what is the process that nature is going through. How does nature develop man, and not only man, but also the person himself and the family, and how families gathered into countries, and the countries themselves, and so on. So the wisdom of Kabbalah, it speaks about the evolution of the human species, about how we develop. And especially it explains that what develops us is our ego, that we're egoists. We have the desire to enjoy life in every possible way. We want to enjoy food, sex, family, and money, honor, and knowledge. And when we want to enjoy that, it develops us. And in every generation, our ego grows. And this is how we reached our generation, where our ego became an integral, global ego, where we're interconnected with one another and we influence each other all over the world. And in this generation, where we're all interconnected, our ego is giving us a hard time. It's creating many problems for us. For each one of us to live in his own country, we wouldn't have touched each other that much. We wouldn't disturb each other that much. But when we become connected in many ways, and there are no real boundaries, borders between the countries, in industry, in education, in culture, and all these things, in politics, where we're all interconnected all around the world. Here, our ego becomes as a very important, crucial, and disturbing component. And therefore, in this generation, the wisdom of Kabbalah is becoming revealed, and it's explaining how we should live our life. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in a world war, and with the weapons that we have today, we can really kill ourselves. And therefore, specifically in these times, in a generation where we're all so interdependent, the wisdom of Kabbalah is becoming revealed, and it explains how we have to correct our connection, to teach ourselves how to have a good and nice connection, relations between us. And this is what we're realizing. And I hope that we'll be able to come out into the world and explain it to everyone. And even though that people are really egoistic and egocentric, but along with it they'll understand that there's no choice, that either we're going to kill each other, or will learn how to live with each other. We have to learn how to live with each other. And the wisdom of Kabbalah teaches us how to live together in a good and nice way. And therefore it's becoming revealed in our times. But these are the hardest times that humanity has ever experienced. And things aren't going to get better. They're not going to be easier. Our ego is growing all the time. And we'll see more and more people in despair, out of a job, not being able to understand each other, along with each one willing to jump the other, kill the other. Our ego will eventually force us to understand that we have no choice, but the good and nice connection between us is the solution, and we can achieve this connection only with the help of the wisdom of Kabbalah. And therefore, all of us will have to teach the whole of humanity, and the whole of humanity will feel that this is the solution and that it's worthwhile studying. Please. Thank you very much. When the ego is becoming so big and we all want to kill each other, and this is also something that's happening in Japan. We have many problems and crises, and we'd like to ask specifically about Japan. Thank you very much. You talked about the connection between people. And if you can tell us a bit more about what's going on in Japan. In Japan, the connection between people became very weak, very dwindled. We have this value in society that we aspire for a good connection and a harmony among people, but we see that it doesn't really work. In practice, it doesn't. We see that people are growing apart. And I'd like to ask, why is there such loneliness? Why is there such separation in a culture that wants the very opposite? It's a result of the ever-growing great ego. It can bring me closer to another person if I can benefit from that person. But if I won't benefit anything as a result, then I don't need that person. My ego works in two directions. Either it pushes me away from others if I don't need them, or it tells me how I can get closer to others in order to exploit them. And therefore, what you see is that, really, people are growing apart. And besides, it's becoming obvious now that because a great big new world is opening up, that previously you didn't feel in Japan, you didn't feel the global world, but now you already feel in your great big ego that you kind of belong to the entire world. And it reduces the need that people feel for each other, and they grow apart, and this is how it happens, and it's going to happen more and more. I think that this is a place for explanation. You have to explain to the people that we can come closer through a special kind of education. You don't necessarily have to say that it's the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's the wisdom of connection. And to teach them how to connect. Like we do it in tens, on workshops, to do the same for people. And this technique is pretty simple. And it can give people the feeling that they're coming closer. And through the closeness, if it follows our rules, then suddenly they'll start feeling that they have a new force of connection that comes to them from the reforming light. You don't have to explain all these things to them, but simply it being a matter of practice. That there are different such exercises. So like a kind of coaching. And this way, to introduce it to those people that feel themselves especially lonely. It's the problem of the entire world, that today everyone wants to have a room of his own, for no one to touch him, and for him to have his mobile, his computer, and to be by himself his entire life. Our ego can't stand other people. It doesn't want to be connected to them. That's how it is. So we have to correct it. We have to rise above the ego. And these are actually very good times for correction. And it's also the very first time in history that the method of how to rise above human nature is becoming revealed. And instead of simply feeling other people, to feel the eternal world. This is why our ego is called helpmate against him. That by distancing us, it forces us to rise above the ego and connect. And in the connection that we achieve above the ego, we discover the upper dimension, spiritual life.
Please.
Okay, so I'd like to ask a question. The Japanese people tend to work very hard. It's a social problem called karoshi, which means excessive work, overwork. People work too much, and it's very widespread. People sometimes work 20 hours a day, and as a result, people lose the meaning of life, they become depressed, sometimes they even commit suicide, and another result is that people that work, they have no time left to be with their family, and at some point they simply collapse at work, and these cases, they're pretty widespread. Where does all this come from? Why does it happen in Japan? I did not research this phenomenon, but it seems to me that it's the character of the nation, and it's a kind of maybe an escape from the harsh reality that a person doesn't want to confront, to cope with the eternal questions of what am I living for, what is the meaning of life, and if he does encounter these questions, then he's ready to submerge himself in work or even die, because it's very hard for him to open up these questions that have no answers. It's such a great suffering that he's not willing to bear. So, many nations have the same problem, only it always comes out in different forms in each and every nation, according to the character of that nation. And according to the character of the Japanese nation, it comes out in this extreme way. I was in Japan only for a week. I couldn't really feel the nation, the people. I traveled around Tokyo and other places. I went to this one special summit. But I really saw that people are closed, each closed inside himself, not touching the other. Trying not to even look at the other. I saw such places where there are many people going by, and I wanted to catch the character, the relations, each per se. I think that it's because there's no method of how can people connect in a good and nice way, and what benefit do they have as a result of the connection. It's upbringing. You have to understand this kind of upbringing and education, and also it's probably a tradition of thousands of years. It's a very ancient people with a very profound and ancient culture. And now that the world is forcing change, it's very hard to get accustomed to this new world. It's very different than the Japanese character. I'm all for disclosing the wisdom of Kabbalah, but you have to see in what way and what dosage to open it. But I think that there you'll see a lot of good outcomes. It'll bring happiness to the people. Please. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask about the relations between parents and children and families. I think that the wisdom of Kabbalah is very important in terms of connection. I want to take care of my friends, of my family. I read this article that spoke about love another as thyself. But in real life, in Japan, we see that there are such cases where mothers abuse their children, abandon their children, in extreme cases, kill their children. How does Kabbalah look at this phenomenon? We're in a world that has to reach a correction. The correction of the world is that all the people will be connected internally with each other, at heart, in thought, in desire. And therefore, we're in a state where everyone's undergoing changes. Wherever you are, South America, Japan, North America, Madagascar, Arabian countries, Europe. We still don't understand what's going on here, but we see that there is a kind of a vast movement. It's like a soup cooking on the stove. Everything is boiling on the inside. And eventually, everyone is in a kind of a futuristic culture which is homogeneous for everyone. We did not reach that yet. We're still only acknowledging that we're in a bad state, that we have to do something, but we still don't understand what do we have to do. And therefore, all of the nations in the modern world are going through the same changes. Meaning, any phenomenon that you can say about Japan exists in other nations, maybe in a different form. But all in all, the reason for all of these turbulences in each and every nation is that nature, the upper providence, is bringing everyone closer to becoming one nation, all over the world, one people. And therefore we feel ourselves bad. We don't know where to run to. We don't know what to do. The ego is growing in such a horrific way that I don't know what to do. I don't feel that there is a place for me on earth, really. What do you do? And therefore we see that even mothers abuse their children, and the kinds of relations that you have in the families. Children leave the family, they don't want to get married, they don't want to have children, and so on and so forth. It all comes as a result of us not knowing how to get along with this world where everyone's coming closer. But nature is pushing us towards this state. And here we will have to find the right method of connection, which is the wisdom of Kabbalah, and to explain what it is to everyone. And only by that will we cure all these sad phenomena that we see, both in Japan and also all over the world. There are similar things, and there is one reason for all of it, is that we're coming closer to becoming one people, like it was in the past in ancient Babylon. We all came out of Babylon, and we have to establish the same form of existence all around the world. Gadi, please. Dr. Laitman, I'd like to ask you a question in a bit of a different direction. I want to ask you about the connection between the Jewish people and the Japanese people. I remember that a few years ago, when the tsunami disaster hit Japan, you related to this tsunami and you said that we will discover how close these two nations are. Can you explain a bit about the connection? It's hard for me to explain because it's not yet revealed, and therefore there's no proof for it. There's no proof for it in science and history, but according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, there's a very strong connection. There was a very strong connection in the past between those who came forth from Babylon and the Japanese people, that this is actually where they originated and developed from. And their attitude towards themselves and the upper forces is actually the same attitude that existed in ancient Babylon in the past, and this is how it spread around the world. I really hope that in the near future we will discover this, because all of the roots for all of the nations will become revealed, and for all of the different kinds and species, and we'll really see how all of us belong to one family. And our culture, even though that it has different external expressions, but it is actually one. And it will really bring all of us closer, and will give us a sense of family, the feeling of a family. One more question. The friends in Japan, they're living on an island that's shaking all the time. There are tsunamis there and different other natural disasters. Very harsh kind of nature there. Yes. They want to know, what is the spiritual root of it? Where does it come from? There are places in the world that barely anything about them changes. It could be in South America, it could be in China, and all the Hindu-Chinese part. But in Japan, things do change. And especially there, and there are other places. Now it's starting to happen in Italy, something that didn't happen there for a long time. And now things are repeating themselves, like in the past in Pompeii. What I want to say is that it gives the nation a special characteristic. It gives them the incentive to advance. You can influence these forces only through the connection between people. You can't abstain it or avoid it in any way. We're all dependent on them, obviously. And it doesn't matter whether we have nuclear energy plants there or not, by which we might endanger ourselves and so on. It will come in other ways, if not in this way. Therefore, the only way that we can balance the forces of nature is by balancing our relations. And if they'll start engaging in it, they'll start feeling how the good, nice, pleasant, convenient atmosphere starts influencing and calming down all these phenomena. Besides the upper light, there is no other force that can calm these forces down, so to speak. And therefore we have to draw it, and then we'll see Japan and also the rest of the world all having and living a good, nice life. Thank you very much. In the modern world, people are suffering a lot from life. So, my question is, how can we be happy? A person can't be happy in this world because our ego grew to such an extent that we can't be happy. No one can be happy. A person who makes $1 billion today, the next day he feels that he didn't get anything, and on the contrary, that he's lacking. And that's how it is with each and everything. Because it all depends on our deficiency that's becoming revealed. We will never feel a lasting fulfillment in our will to receive, a fulfillment that gives us joy and tranquility, and a feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction, but only in the will to bestow. And this is what we have to reach, the will to bestow. So let's really feel satisfaction as a result of being able to fulfill the others. And while fulfilling the others, this abundance passes through me and also fulfills me. And therefore, this is the only method by which a person can be fulfilled, where he's giving to all of humanity, and by that he benefits from everyone. It's not simple. It is the wisdom of Kabbalah, the wisdom of reception, of fulfillment. But truly, this is what it's leading us towards. We'll work at it, and we'll succeed. Thank you very much for answering all of our questions. Dr. Laitman, we know that you have a very busy schedule. I'm very happy that today there's so many groups that came here from all over the world, from more than 60 countries and even more, and that I have the opportunity of giving lessons and listening to your questions, and to shoot shows like the show that we're shooting now and with other groups, and we'll meet each other again, and we'll meet in Japan, and there is a beautiful future up ahead. I'm very happy that you're here, and thank you very much for your visit. Thank you very much. The Bnei Baruch organization which you have established, what kind of organization is it? What do you do in your day-to-day life? It is an organization of working and studying people. Everyone works. And we study after work. Even though that we don't work for 20 hours a day like in Japan, but still we work. And therefore we study from 3 to 6 a.m. In the evening, after work, we disseminate the wisdom. We circulate it. This is our life. From the money we have collected ourselves, we built this house. We arranged it so that we can broadcast to the whole world from here. And we have many other facilities in this building, an auditorium for the lessons, and a big hall for meals, and so on. Anyone who's studying the wisdom of Kabbalah anywhere in the world is welcome to come here and we'll be happy to have you here. Our life is about broadcasting all of our lessons. We're on television, we're on the radio, we're in the media, also in different languages. We publish books in 40 languages. We have branches all over the world. We have congresses in many countries. Soon, we're having a congress here in Israel. A month later, I'm going to Kiev. I'm flying to Kiev, to the Ukraine, where we'll have another congress. A month later, we're having a congress in South America, in Chile, in Brazil, in Mexico, and in the United States. And a month and a half later, again and again, and every month or two, we have a congress someplace in the world. So I meet everyone, and I'd really love for you to invite me to a congress in Japan. We'll have one in the future, don't worry. Thank you very much. It seems that there are so many things that are happening all over the world, so many activities. So, where does the motivation for it, the energy for it come from? How is it all possible? Our entire life consists of the upper light, the force of energy that exists in nature. The more a person is united with nature, is in harmony with nature, correspondingly he gets all of his strength from there. Therefore, in order to bestow, you don't need strength. Soon we're going to have a congress, so I'll have to work 11, 12 hours a day. I don't think that as a result I feel fatigue. On the contrary, if I bestow to others, it all passes through me, and physically the body does grow tired, but not mentally, emotionally. So good luck, and we'll meet here and in Japan and in other places on our congresses. And I really hope that you'll grow and you'll become a big and strong group. The Japanese people will enjoy having a group of Kabbalists. Thank you very much. It's simply amazing. We really want for you to come. And just like Dr. Laitman said, from the perspective of a Kabbalist, how do you see the future state of the world? In general, what should the world be like? The world should be more connected. The ego should be under the control of people, where people are taught, educated, how to rise above the ego towards their connection, and that people aren't working in order to build and make different things which aren't necessary for life, but make only what's necessary in order to live in a normal, healthy way. And all the rest of the time, they learn how to connect and to raise themselves to a higher degree of existence. This is how the wisdom of Kabbalah sees the future. Let's hope that we'll reach that in a good and nice way, and not through blows, suffering, torments, and then we'll see that we have no choice. This is what I'm working for. Thank you very much. In order to make the world a better place, we want to thank you for talking about Japan. Do you see Japan having any special role in making the world a better place? We have already seen in history that the Japanese people can be very crystallized, strong, goal-oriented. On the inside, they have this willingness to follow an idea with all their strength, without taking themselves into consideration. And therefore, I think that if the wisdom of Kabbalah will become known to people, they will be able to truly become the source of this wisdom for many parts of humanity. Specifically because of the special character of the people that feel a sense of need. They feel obligated, that they're capable of taking an idea and bringing it to realization. I'd really like to connect the wisdom of Kabbalah with the Japanese character and for them to realize it, actualize it. Thank you very much. In Japan, many people are searching for the meaning of life. And like Dr. Laitman said, we need the wisdom of Kabbalah for it. How did you get to know the wisdom of Kabbalah, Dr. Laitman? Also, from those very same questions of what is the meaning of life, why is life so hard, what is man lacking, and so on and so forth. From questions that science has no answers for, life has no answers for, not philosophy, not psychology. And this is how I came. I was searching until I found. So I would like to really thank you very much for this talk. I hope that next time we'll meet in Japan maybe, and we'll talk again. And we'll have a Congress there. In a year, but it'll happen. Thank you very, very much. I'm very happy that you're here. And feel at home. All the best. Thank you.